Okay, we're going to have a look at the invoicing module again, and we're going to have a look at setting up a skeleton as a recurring invoice. Now you can either do that from New Edit, go to Recall, and there's our one skeleton we've set up so far, and you can edit the frequency through here, or you can discard that and you can do it through the button at the top here called Recurring, and you get the same window. So we're now going to set up the monthly photocopier invoice to repeat itself each time we process it. So go into frequency, and we're going to tell it we want it to recur every 1 month. Now, if we don't put a total in here, when we process it, Sage will do it once and then it'll drop it off the list. But let's say that we've actually had an order from the customer to do this for the next 6 months. So we want a total of 6 monthly bills. The start date will in fact be the 31st of December because the one that we've already done, actually no, we didn't post that, did we? Let's say that the first one here, I was thinking we'd already posted the one for November, but we haven't. So the first one will be the one for November, and Sage has worked out that if it posts the first one for November, after 6 postings, the last one will be in May 08, which just sounds about right to me. Once this has been processed once, in this little field here we'll see the date that it was last processed. Now if you want to just suspend the frequency for a while until you say review a situation, you can always click the suspended box, and even if you chose to process it, Sage wouldn't do it because it knows you've suspended it. But we're going to leave that ready to go. Now we're going to save that frequency, and if we then have a look back again, highlight that frequency, there's all the detail we put in a minute ago. Okay. From this window we can also delete skeletons, edit them, which would take you into the invoice window, and you could change, say, the amount or the person's name on the invoice. But we'll just close that. No, don't want to save the changes, thank you. You can, as we've already seen, edit the frequency, and you can also print out a list of all your recurring invoices. We've only got one at the moment, so I'm not going to bother with that. Now, processing. This is where we tell Sage to actually essentially raise that invoice and put it through the system. So press process, and Sage says that today's date is 31st of December, so logically it would expect to put through the November and the December one. So let's change that to 30th of November tab, and Sage is now only showing us that there's one invoice to go out before the 30th of November or on the 30th of November, and we can still suspend this if we want to by unticking the include box. But let's tick that back again and then say to Sage, right, process that. Processing complete. Okay. Righty-ho, let's close that window. Go to the bottom of the invoice list, and here we see that Sage has actually raised that invoice for us, and it's dated it November, la-di-da, it's all there. But you will see that it still isn't actually updated or posted to the ledgers, and in actual fact neither has it been printed yet. So it's not saying printed and it's not saying posted. But you can see how useful this would be. Let's say you had a dozen invoices to send out every month for, let's say, photocopier service to a dozen different customers. all you'd need to do is set up those invoices as skeletons, process them through the recurring button, see them added to the list, select each of them, and then just do the updating to, well, first of all do the printing to print out copies, and then do the updating to post them to the sales ledger. And that would take you a fraction of the time it would take to type out or produce all those separate invoices. But unfortunately, instant users, if you're sitting here drooling at the thought of that, I'm afraid you can't do it because you can't do skeletons. However, everybody else can, so that's great, isn't it? So that's how you set up and process recurring invoices, and we'll be looking at how you update the ledgers separately.